Hello, wonderful people. So glad for all of you to come and join us. It's Ali and I today, and we're both in a very rainy, very cold Cape Town. How's it treating you,
Yes, we
Ali?
are. Well, I kind of prefer the local weather. It was nice and sunny when I left. Didn't feel like winter anymore. Not so much down in Cape Town. It definitely still feels like winter down here.
Oh yeah, and Ali is actually not very far from me at the moment, and I can see rain, so I'm sure she can see rain too. Oh, at
I
least
don't
if she
I don't
had a
want
window.
I don't want to look outside.
Well, it's the Wild Moments show, everybody. So remember to send in your questions and your comments here from you. It's been a bit of a quiet um, week on the cam, so we decided that we're going to spend some time looking at our birdie characters. I do love birds. I'm not very good at bird calls or identifying, especially the small brown birds. No. But luckily, the birds that we're going to be chatting about are those we have seen very, very often, and they have kind of become um, characters for our show and on our cams. So that's like the lapwings, the black eagle chick, the little Egyptian geese as well. So we'll chat about all of them. Remember to send in your questions and your comments. And now already, before we've even started, we have a whole lot of hellos. So let's get through them first before we move on. We've got Michael S. saying hello from North Carolina, USA. Really enjoyed watching all the different animals. Oh, well, we're very glad that you do, Michael S. And then we've got Deanna says, good morning from Seattle. You're ready with your coffee, Deanna. Oh, you beat Aussie Jan. Aussie Jan usually has a coffee, but today Aussie Jan too says, good afternoon, mateys. It's amazing how we get to know you guys over this, right? Aussie Jan has a coffee. Sometimes she has a coffee and a snack. I love it. This time she says, good afternoon, mateys, just getting comfy and she's ready. Cool.
Yeah.
Then we have Boston guy saying, hi, everyone from Boston, Massachusetts. And we've got Zygote saying hi, Africam. We've got Dag2. Good afternoon to all from Europa. Rolling Trouble says hello, Trish and Ali from Washington. And
Oh, it
then
must be cold there
Zygote says
too.
hi, Trish and Ali as well. And we have May Blossom joining us today saying greetings, ladies. Hey, Judy.
Hey.
So lovely for you to join us. Okay, so let us get started with the couple that has experienced tragedy over the last few weeks. But
Not
they're going
dramatic at all.
strong, and as a species, not dramatic. As a species, they're doing very well. There's no way you can go near a waterhole that you won't see them.
Absolutely.
And the clip should have been playing then, but it's fine. I'm sure it'll come along. There we go. Maybe it's the cryptic way in which I introduce the clips. I'll be a little bit more straightforward next time.
Oh, it looks so cozy. Trish, maybe this is what you and I look at night here in the Cape. Oh, hello.
I think so, Ellie. My legs are definitely not that long though.
I mean, I feel like my fingers are that long though. See, there's a nice, interesting changeover. The one left and then the other one came back to settle. Bloop, 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 bloop. And then just make sure
Oh,
that the eggs
yeah.
are kept warm. In theory.
In theory.
I mean, I can't really see any
Oh.
eggs, but if they're making so much effort.
It's it could also be maybe they're actually making the little I was about to say ditch. It's not a ditch. What's the word I'm looking
The
for,
nest.
Ali? The
Nest?
scrape. Yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
nest. But before they line
Preparing the
it,
soil.
they're preparing the soil. There we go. So it could be that that's what was happening because it was the male, or don't think it's a male, but I can't make an assumption. But it was like, wiggling about, trying to create that depression. So maybe they're going to have another clutch, which would be nice because remember that their last clutch was devoured by the white-tailed mongoose. 4 shiny eggs 2 days before hatching. Yeah, when we actually discussed this in the last show as well, Ellie, that if we didn't know the that this couple had constantly been trying and that we had seen these eggs, we would just think that this is an amazing white-tailed mongoose sighting, right? Because it's so quick whenever we see white-tailed mongoose that to see one for that long, it's a pleasure, really. It's all about perspective.
Apparently, you've just got to bring nice food, and then the white-tailed mongoose will be there.
I think it's universally. I have a feeling.
They just like a good buffet meal. Apparently, that's their deal.
And many of us humans as well. Some more hellos. We've got Tris Vsop says, where'd that go? Says, hi everybody all over the world, and hello to Trish and Andy. Hi.
Hello.
And we've got Gert, who says, hello, good day all from Utrecht. Thank you. Netherlands, I'm assuming. And then Bob from Kalamazoo says, good day, ladies. Good day, Bob. Kathy Barton says, hello, Trishala and Ali. Hi, Kathy. And we've got 5 girls. Ooh, says, good morning from Boise, Idaho. That's cool. I don't think I've met you yet. I'm hoping to get to know you, and maybe we'll know you as well as Aussie Jan. We'll know your coffee habits. Sorry, Aussie Jan. It's just I really enjoy when you tell us these things. I get to know you. Tammy says, hello all. Sergeant Pepper says, good morning from a sunny Florida. Hashtag jealous, as the youngsters would say. Then we have Cindy Drake says, hi, Trish and Ali. Hi, Cindy. So I hope that we are in sync. If not, here we go, because that's going to help some people out, the people behind the scenes. But we do apologize if we were not in sync there. Gosh, the hellos keep coming in, but let's move on to our Black Eagle chick. Oh, this is amazing.
It's not looking so little anymore, is it?
I know. I was just about to ask, when was the last time that you saw this chick?
The last time I saw it was actually when we did the last show together, and it was still just pretty much fluff. And it was when they brought it, I think, well, we sort of assumed that it was a diker, where the parents brought a diker back to the nest, which is pretty cool, because it's changed so much in maybe the space of a month? 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing to see just how much it's grown. Oh, stretching those wings already. Oh, okay. Gotta let go.
So apparently he or she will fledge by the end of this month, so towards the 22nd or so. I mean, according to the textbook, it says 90 days, but I think that the viewers had also given their input and said, I think actually it was one of the researchers in this area who said about the 22nd. So I'm pretty excited for when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, how if you compare any of these animals to actually human babies, I mean, it takes a human baby about a year to learn how to walk, and then you think of this bird that is 90 days, and then off you go, off a cliff. Boom, fly, use your wings. And then, they become some pretty incredible raptors.
Yeah, and so quickly, like you said, it was only a couple months ago, and this thing was a helpless ball of fluff that I couldn't even pick its body up. It was lying flat, and this, you wouldn't be able to tell from afar if it was dead or alive. It was so helpless. And now it's become this great big raptor that we're also excited to watch fledge. We have a question regarding the fledging, and that is from UK David. Hi, UK David. You'd like to know, please, do you think the Black Eagle chick will take let me read that again. Do you think the Black Eagle chick will take its first flight without the parents being there? I must first say that I haven't seen many Black Eagle chicks take their first flight, so this would be a first for me if we do see it. And I'm not I've seen Batlier chicks taking what appeared to be their first flight. And one of the parents were around, but I don't know if that necessarily means that they have to be around. What do you think, Ali?
I mean, I'm not sure with black eagles in particular, but I think maybe a parent would sort of encourage it, but I don't think they have to be there
Mhm.
for the chick to be ready to fly. I mean, sometimes, like with all little animals, like a bit of a nudge from a parent is a good thing just to build up confidence, but birds are pretty independent creatures all throughout. So I don't know, as you say, I'm not entirely sure, and I could be lying here, especially when it comes to specifics about black eagles, but I don't think it's a must for a parent to be around. It would definitely help
Yeah.
though.
I yeah, I think it would definitely help. And I think also it's quite because they're obviously birds, so there's an intuitive factor at play as well. And also we see the wing flapping and the jumping, so it knows it's feeling something, right?
Hmm.
And you know, what if when it flaps and suddenly it feels that the lift, which is what they're producing with their wings, right? So once it feels that lift, what if it just goes and the parents are not there? It can also happen, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But like we both said, we've not ever seen black eagles, chicks specifically. Um,
Yeah. And
but I don't think that I don't think whether the parents there or not is what matters. I think what
mm,
matters is being able to create the lift.
I mean, I also think because like if something were to go wrong, it's not like the parents can do anything about it. I think this is why it's also
Yeah,
such an important step in, an eagle and just generally of any bird. Once they fledge the nest, it's like, are they going to make it? So sometimes they take a little bit longer for them. I mean, 90 days, it's still a short period of time, all things considered. But
yeah,
they've got to make sure, and they're not going to be as agile. They're not going to fly properly, but they've got to make sure that they don't crash because then, all this effort for the parents has been in vain. So there's sort of like no
exactly.
insurance. The parents have done what they want, and as you were saying, they're pretty intuitive birds, so instincts just gotta come in and, hope for the best.
Yeah, and I think if if we can have sufficient information and sufficient observations for people to be able to put, or researchers to be able to put a day, like a number of days old, to fledging, then you know it must be. I say this with a pinch of salt, but it must be fairly accurate because there have to be a significant amount of observation to people for people to put
Hmm.
that in a textbook, right? Or so you would hope. Not always my
Yeah.
experience, but so you would hope.
Well, I think if there's
So,
a specific
yeah.
date, then the researchers can see little signs. I mean, when you observe an animal for as long, like there's something there that you're like, cool. I think it's coming. It's getting ready. So it'll be cool if it happens on the 22nd day.
Yeah, it will. It would be very, very cool. And I'm sure that we're all looking forward to it. Um, we have, oh, Kathy Barton. Thank you very much. Kathy Barton says, Trishala, it's pronounced Boise. Thank you, Kathy Barton. And next time I'm in the US, I'll visit Boise. And then Sydney Drake says it's almost fledged. Yeah, Cindy, just a few more days to go. And then Lisa White says, good day to all from Washington State. Sergeant Pepper says, awesome. And then Five Girls says, and I shall put my head down so I can read this fully. I could never compete with Aussie Jam. Hashtag legend, smiley face. But I do consider myself a bird nerd, and I'm currently sitting on my back deck watching all the hummingbirds stopping for a rest and sip of nectar on their migration south for the winter. Oh, so now we know a little bit about you, Five Girls. Amazing. Okay, shall we move on to our next group of birds? And I call them an argument. It's the Egyptian geese. I was meant to be more forceful with my introductions. Oh, would you look at that? I was quite
You know,
privileged the other day at the supermarket to see an Egyptian goose couple and a couple of their goslings walking nearby.
I mean, I thought that you
Um,
were gonna say that, that's what you look like coming out of the supermarket with all your packets.
I mean, not that far off, Ali.
Oh, that is actually such a sweet view. Oh, panic.
Oh, wow. Oh, that was so amazing. I'm gonna ask that we um, just play the clip again once it's over because I really want to have a proper look at that that happens. Because it was, I was looking down to see the comments and then suddenly, there we go. Thank you. Like they're all trying to get a bit of warmth, maybe some scratches.
Yeah. I mean, it has been quite cold in the last couple of days everywhere. So I wouldn't be surprised they're doing it for just to huddle together for a bit of warmth.
And then pause and pause. And then a scatter. I must say that they look pretty big, so that's really nice to see because it's not often that you see Egyptian geese with their eight, goslings, and then they drop off quite steadily.
Hmm.
And it's nice to see that there are about six of them there. So very, very nice to see.
Well, there's no
So
shortage of
last,
Egyptian anywhere.
that's also true. Our last What the Fact show, we were talking about collective nouns, and there was one that I had contrived, and it was for Egyptian geese, and I called them an argument of Egyptian geese because they're always so loud and they always seem to be arguing over something. Don't know what,
This,
but over something.
I don't know if
Right?
argument
Always
suits them.
noisy.
I see where you were going, but I think maybe more like a fight of Egyptian geese, like, because it's an argument would entail them allowing an opinion or somebody else to have an opinion, whereas I feel like they're pretty like, it's their point and that's pretty much it. Quite forceful.
Yes.
The same way that the little ones, maybe they get it from your chicks, like the way that they were tucking themselves in and just getting back in. But they are adorable, and it's actually very sweet to see them so big, pretending to be so small.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is very, very cute. Um, okay, we have two questions about the black eagle chick. May Block would like to know how long after its first flight will the youngsters stay at the nest? That is a good question that I don't know the
Um,
actual exact answer.
I read up
I
about
think,
it earlier because
yeah.
I actually thought about the same thing. And I think the answer, if it's not incorrect, is that for about another month and a half to 2 months, like the mom will kind of stick around, but she won't necessarily be roosting with the chick all the time. She'll be with the male, and then eventually they just kind of stop. So I hope that is accurate information, what I'm sharing, because I also wonder, I was like, okay, they kicked them out of the nest, and then what?
And then they're out
But
into
I
the
mean,
big bad world.
yeah, and then we get all these
Um,
parents complaining about the empty nest syndrome. Hmm.
yes, I'm familiar with that. Um, Thanks, Ali. I was just about to open up my bird app to have a look, so thank you for that. And then Tris Stop says, "Is there anything people could do if the eaglet fell down too early?" That's an interesting question. Um,
Mm,
as with any wildlife that you find, you should not try to help it on your own because you're not a trained veterinarian, or without medical training, you could possibly be hurting the animal more than you're helping it. So I think the first thing you would do is to make sure that you call a vet or them. So, for example, with the black eagles, we know that there's a research center that focuses on them, right? So you'd want to contact people. And that's the best thing you can do as a human because you have access to cell phones and other such things that can allow you to contact for the appropriate help. What about you, Addie?
No, I think that's a very good answer, and because the thing is, sometimes things happen for a reason, as much as we don't want them, and some maybe there was something wrong with the trick altogether, and maybe that's why it landed in the wrong place. But also, in this case specifically, I don't think there would be a human way of actually getting it and then putting it back on the nest, and perhaps that would stress everybody more or stress out the animals more, and perhaps it wouldn't be worth it at the end. And sometimes the chicks do fall, but then eventually by themselves they manage to get either like the parents just stick around and then start feeding it on the ground. I've seen this happen with other species of birds until the chick is actually able to fly away. This is assuming it's something big and almost ready to fledge as the eagle that we saw. If it's something smaller and more defenseless, then likely a predator is going to come and take it because it's an easy meal on the ground.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but it's all part of the circle of life, and as you say, I think the best thing is if there's a research place around, just get a hold of them and they'll know what the best course of actions is.
And then Cindy Drake says it's trying to fit under mum like they used to. That's exactly what Ali was saying. Cindy Drake's talking about the Egyptian geese, those little ones that trying to like squeeze under as if they're so small. It's very cute. CNAX is a cackle of geese in your opinion. Oh, no, you said LMAO. I will not say what that means, but it's laughter. Wonder what may have upset them. Well, let's actually see what it looks like, CNAC, when they get really upset, because we've got another short clip of Egyptian geese that are fighting at Tau. We'll see whether cackle or argument is a better word, or as you said, a fight, Ali.
Okay, I feel like fight is better for this specific clip.
Yeah, I think fight is definitely winning here. Oh, can you see that it's gotten hold of the neck of the other goose?
This is quite a ferocious fight. Okay, out of the way.
That was just like, gimme, 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 let me at them. I love how in the bush you can have, so you have these intra and interspecies interactions, right? And when there is an interaction within a species, like these Egyptian geese fighting, nobody else cares. Nobody else in the bush will turn their heads to have a look. I feel it's so funny. Like those wildebeest in the background just didn't care at all. It's like this supermarket fight that I don't know if people are trying to avoid looking at the people who are fighting, or whether they just don't care. Probably just don't care.
I mean, maybe they've also heard it like a million times. If you think about how many times a day you hear Egyptian geese fighting, it's just like, oh, here they go again. The neighbors.
Exactly. I think, Sinak, that Ali wins that collective noun
I mean,
competition.
I think at least for this scenario, that was a fierce fight,
so.
I feel like even fight is not deadly enough for what we just witnessed.
It was like a chest pump of Egyptian geese. I don't know. Ali? Okay, no,
Yes.
never mind. Because I saw that somebody said good afternoon, but then they had the same surname as you, but then I see it's not actually the same surname as you. So I was like, what's your brother's name?
If it's my brother, I'd be surprised.
Santero Olivier says good afternoon. Good afternoon. We thought, or at least I thought you were Ali's brother, but it's okay, you are not. Sergeant Pepper says, I read, not related. Sergeant Pepper says that they have read that it's 3 to 4 months for the black eaglet to stay before they are kicked out of the nest, I suppose. I mean, usually it's a range, so you're probably both right. Can probably start quite early and then move on and extend as long as 4 months.
Yeah, I think it will also depend on an area.
Yeah, got
All
you.
right.
Sergeant Pepper has
Definitely.
followed up with some interesting information. Black eagles, oh, never mind, that was just a title heading. The remaining chick will then take around 90 days to fledge and remain with its parents for a further 3 to 4 months. Once the young eagle is capable of feeding itself, it'll be forced out of the territory by its parents. Okay, so there's a couple of factors that come into play there. Because now I'm thinking size of territory, competition, as well as food availability. So I think all those things have to come together to create the date or at least the time frame for when they will get kicked out. But thank you for that, Sergeant Pepper. It's always great to learn. Oh, Rolling Trouble says, does his head got a brown stripe? Does his head have a brown stripe? That's what they're asking. I'm assuming that you're talking about the black eagle chick, and yes, it does look like his head has, as if he has a mullet and the mullet point. Um, but that will all turn black as soon as he gets his adult plumage. I'm saying him, but we don't know if it's a him. And okay, and
Just
then we
have a feeling,
have.
don't you?
I do have a
You just have a
feeling, but that
feeling.
happens so often. Yeah, it does happen often. But I don't know. Like I met a turtle recently and automatically called her she. Um, but I mean, we wouldn't
You
know.
met a turtle?
It's really difficult to tell. Yeah, it's really difficult to tell with green turtles. I met a number of turtles. I'll tell you about it later. We only have a few
Okay.
minutes left of the show, but I've been spending a lot of time with turtles recently and having an absolute ball. So the last clip that we have for our show is an African hawk eagle that was in Buludi, who has, firstly, I love African hawk eagles, but this one has quite an engorged crop. So let's have a look. Wow.
Somebody's quite happy because it's been eating.
Yeah, and that's an impressive amount in that crop. It's also a good angle to see it, really.
Absolutely. Side on just definitely brings it on a little bit better. I wonder what
Oh,
poor
they're
bird
such
they
beautiful
ate.
birds.
Maybe a guinea fowl.
Oh, shit. Yeah, maybe a guinea fowl. Um, the African hawk eagles like game birds quite a bit, but they also take small mammals and things like that. So I think your guinea fowl guess might have been correct.
I mean, I was just saying guinea fowl, but it could have been anything.
Yeah, exactly. They like francolin, spurfowl, basically all those birds that scurry along on the ground.
I think for a second there, he was even admiring its own crop. Be like, I'm so nice and full.
Exactly. Yes, he's like, oh, look at me accentuating my crop with this pose I've got here. Beautiful. So if you don't know what a crop is, it's basically well, you can see it's in the neck
Pouch.
area, but it's a muscly bit of the esophagus. So it just allows birds to store food in it. And then some birds, not all birds have a crop, and then some birds can do things like create crop milk from their crop, like doves and pigeons. And it's just basically an area to store food. It also kind of softens food. So when birds regurgitate to feed their chicks, it comes out of the crop. It's nice and soft. Would you
Easy
like
to
to add about the
digest.
crop, Matt? Yes.
No, thank you. I mean, it's not also smooth. Like it's got a lot of I forget the word that allows to grind the food a little bit better as well, to soften it and then to be able to digest it easier. Because as we know, birds don't really have teeth, so how are they going to process everything going, from here then downwards? And then obviously, of course, it gets processed in the stomach. But it's quite a handy thing to have
Yeah.
when you can't really take most of your food away, so you just store it in you. It's the best way possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the purpose of. So, like I said, not all birds have crops, but especially birds that don't have a constant supply of resources. birds like birds of prey who are hunting. So if they're hunting, then you don't know if tomorrow I'm actually going to get another guinea fowl or not, right? So it's important to be able to store that nutrients there, and so you most often see them with these large crops. But
Also
then
scavengers,
also,
like vultures.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
exactly. I read something, I can't remember when it was, about vultures who had eaten a whole lot of meat somewhere or the other, and then they all had these really huge crops, and it can be quite difficult for birds to fly or respond to any kind of threat if their crop is full because it's additional weight, right? So there was a meat rain. As people assumed that suddenly it was
Oh
raining
God.
meat somewhere. I can't remember where it was. It was somewhere in the US, and it was a long time ago. And then they figured out, after doing some tests on the meat that had fallen all over people, that it had come from vultures. I think it was turkey vultures or something like that. And then the vultures had actually all vomited out their whatever was in their crop over this one city. And yeah, ended up with meat rain falling
It
on
must have
people.
been something very stressful to cause them all to vomit.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a airplane or something in the air. I don't know, but a whole lot of vultures just let it
I
out.
mean, to say that it rained meat, it would be, something. I'm not sure I would like to witness it though.
No, yeah, and that must have been hella stinky. Anyway, thank you all for joining us for our little bird week for our Wild Moments show, powered by explore.org, of course. And we hope to see you again soon. And Ali, I'll see you just now. Bye for now, everybody.
Yep, we'll see you later.